Start show. Hello! Welcome to the live stream. Some of you have come over from Aaron's stream, so that's why I'm in kind of a wider angle today than I normally am. Actually, I'm going to move over a little bit more because I think we just set up that from the camera here. So yeah, some people were on the last stream. Eric said just teleported over from Aaron PK. Philip says the anticipation to see what happens when the fancy new buttons get pressed. The other part was that we were frantically trying to rearrange ourselves, including the fact that I'm doing something that I don't typically do. I don't do a lot of these planner streams, but the you might not be able to see, but I've got like a whole rig situation happening over here for the overhead camera and everything. So the journaling broom says, yay, Hobonichi stream. I know that you just tolerate the economic stuff, journaling broom, and you're really here for the planners. But yes, we've got Hobonichi stream. We're also going to talk about the new Hobonichi releases. So we'll do a little bit of a plan with me. And then I also want to talk about the Take a Note planner because they also just had their announcement for the Take a Note planner. And I'm thinking about switching to Take a Note next year. But I've now really liked the Hobonichis. We also have 2 donuts today because Aaron, as a treat for letting me guest on his, got a cheeseburger vegan donut that will come out later. And then I have a maple bacon vegan donut, which has some cat hair on it. That is not the bakery's fault. That is my house's fault. But anyway, it's like coconut bacon. So I've actually already had a bite of it before. Not this particular donut, but this flavor. And it was very good. Christy says, hyped for this. I know one of these planners will fix me. I know. Isn't that how we all feel? Just like, oh, at some point. I gotta say, one of the reasons I am considering moving away from the Hobonichi this year, or next year, is that now I've been in a Hobonichi for about a year now, because I bought a half of an Avec book last year from someone, and so I like finished out last year with it, and then I bought one for this year. I'm definitely going to be finishing it through this year, but I was not... I'm not very excited about any of the covers, so we'll kind of look through what has been announced. Hobonichi, as I have said, is the most extra brand when it comes to marketing. Maybe second to Traveler's Notebook, but like, it's really a marketing company that's main product is planners. But I would say that it's more a marketing company than anything else. And their marketing game is strong. So what they are doing is every single day of August, they are doing a reveal of one thing that is like being released at Hobonichi. And I gotta say, I kept waiting for something that I was like super excited about, and I'm just not that excited. So we'll kind of look through some of those, appreciate their fabulous marketing game, and then I'll talk about why I'm considering the Take a Note planner, which is also a lot more affordable than the Hobonichi. Although, if you're not trying to go get any new fancy Hobonichi covers, they're only a little unreasonably expensive, not absolutely unreasonably expensive, especially considering, the paper quality and everything. So... Alex says, came here from Aaron's stream to see if it all worked. Staying for some economics and donuts. Well, thank you for joining for the economics. I will say we're going to be pretty light on the economics today because it is a planner stream. As the journaling broom said, very excited. Newbold1 is just here for the donuts, says double donuts. The journaling broom says, I'm not excited about any of the covers either. Underwhelmed this year, to be honest. Yes. Let's talk about that in a second. I'm gonna actually pull that up on the screen. Peter says, looking forward to planners, economics, and donuts. Great. Newbold1 says, like the perfect drip feed for detail-oriented folks. I think that's like, quite honestly, that's their vibe. I think let's look at the new Hobonichis before we do the plan with me. Quite frankly, the whole plan with me is like, I don't really know how much excitement there is going to be in my week's planning. For me, it is my second week back to having 3 jobs. Last week was my first week having 3 jobs again, which seems to actually be my default state. I I try to resist it, and then I always end up coming back to it. So I think I'm just someone who needs to have 3 jobs. The good news is none of the 3 jobs are full-time right now, because I'm not up to full-time work at my new kind of day job. So last week I started contracting back at my old job. So I'm calling it new old job for clarity. And I'm just contracting to help them out. They are going through some staff transition and just have like a backlog. And so they called me and asked me if I had some ability to fill in with some contracting. So I'm back to having like 2 laptops and building transit maps again, in addition to my day job, which is for the investment firm that I work for. It is slow season. Things aren't really going to pick up again for us until probably later in the year. So it works out well with the contracting. And then Oh My Dollar, of course, which has a lot of cool stuff going on right now, tons of which I can't talk about. So, and it's the last week of Pedalpalooza. So the big thing this week for me is that Breakfast on the Bridges it's our 20th birthday this Friday. So we've been serving coffee and breakfast foods to bikers and walkers on Portland's bridges most last Fridays of the month for 20 years now. I've personally been volunteering for 15 years for it, and we're going to have like a big to do about it. I'm excited. So that's sort of my like... That's the highlights of my week. Otherwise, I don't think it's very exciting. Me just working a lot of jobs. Yep. Jewel says, I also just ported over from Aaron's stream. Just subscribed to your stream, and I appreciate your vegan ice cream explanation, and will surely try it soon. Great. There's so many different types of vegan ice cream, too. That's the thing, is like, it's just, there's so many different types of non-dairy ice cream. So I think it depends on what kind of qualities you like in ice cream, about what kind of like milk substitute base you want to use in your non-dairy ice cream. So, GoWeb says, what is Hobonichi? Apologies, newcomer here. Thank you for that wonderful transition here. Let's talk about what Hobonichi is. So we're going to find out how these buttons work. All right, screen mirroring here. Actually, I realized I can keep charging this little phone right here. I am screen mirrored. Am I on the right thing? We will find out. I don't know why my... Hey, Aaron, why is my...
I want to change it for you. Want me to change it back?
Yeah, please change it back. I don't like it when it's just all one. Great. Perfect. Okay. So, let's go. Do we have it? There we go. Apple TV full screen. Camera with Apple TV. I'm kind of in the corner. Let's see if we can do. So, Hobonichi is just a Japanese planner company. However, they have quite the cult following around the world. I would probably say Hobonichi is one of the most intense of all of the kind of planner cults. There is a bunch of different, and I'm using cult in a very loving way as someone who is also involved in these, but there is it's very much like a group of people that are united. Is very much a global community, despite being a Japanese planner that did not have an English version for the most commonly used one for a really long time. People all over the world use it. I am one of those people that uses Hobonichi now. And I would say there's a couple different subgroups of types of planner that have like a really big cult following. If you're around in the United States, especially if you were involved in like kind of more Christian communities in the 90s, you're probably familiar with Franklin Covey. Franklin Planner is probably like the original cult planner, which teamed up with Stephen Covey, which is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And they really had their boom during the days and dominance of mall stores in the 90s and early aughts in the US. Now, that kind of planner culture was really kind of focused more heavily at like men, businessmen, particularly. It had a lot of like kind of Christian values infused to it. So it was very popular among church communities. Now, planners have become much more of an artistic expression community, especially among people that are crafters, scrapbookers. It doesn't mean that planners are not just used for functional planning, quote unquote, which is a term used in the planner community. But a lot of people use them as sort of artistic expression, stamping, letterpress, you know, fountain pens, all sorts of kind of, collages, memory keeping, all sorts of stuff is kind of wrapped up in this category of planners, which is predominantly dominated by women. One of the big things that was revolutionizing in the planner space was social media. So you could find other people that were interested in planners, even if you didn't know anybody in your real life who was the kind of person like me who thought September, when you would get back to school supplies and get new notebooks, was the best thing in the world. Now, all of those people that never grew out of the smell of new notebooks in September, we all get to be united in our weird little planner social media communities. And then the other thing that really made the planner world particularly interesting was the ability and ease of creating small businesses, and particularly home-based businesses, that websites like Etsy, Shopify, social media for promotion like Instagram and YouTube, and the availability of planning sticker printers and cutting machines that became available for home-based businesses. And because of this, a lot of different home-based businesses popped up around making stickers for planners. If you search on Etsy, if you search, online, you will find thousands and thousands of sticker shops that might be someone's side hobby. It might be just a thing that they do to offset the purchases of stickers that they make themselves, or it might be a business that employs quite a few people that all they really do is sell stickers that go in other planners. Within those niches, there are some people that are more agnostic, that are constantly searching for quote unquote planner peace. These are people like me that might switch between planners every year, or sometimes even more than once a year. But there are also people that are very die-hard for certain planner brands. One of those planner brands is called the Happy Planner. This one has like big rings on it. Then one of the next ones that has a really large kind of cult following is called Erin Condren. That is another kind of individual brand of planners. Those are both US and or Canadian based planner systems. Then there are people that are very into a lot of the imported planners, and most of the imported planners that are very popular come from Japan. Japan has a very strong design aesthetic, and it also has a very concrete culture of paper and wrapping. And I'm just floored every time I walk into a Japanese department store how large the planner section is, with tons and tons of planners. Journaling culture has started to rise in Korea, so journaling culture has a lot of overlaps with planner culture. So there is a lot of imports of Japanese planners that have really started to rise over the past decade. It used to be kind of hard to get if you didn't live in a big city where you would have a Asian supermarket that would import things like Hobonichi planners. You'd have to pay a shopping service. Now there's quite a few niche stationery shops that cater to people that like to get planners imported. Additionally, almost all the planner companies have accepted and realized that there is an international audience, and one of them is Hobonichi Techo. So, Techo just means, I think, calendar in Japanese. I will immediately apologize for anything I do not pronounce correctly in Japanese. Feel free to try to correct me if you can, because I am bad at it. Do not know Japanese. I wish I did sometimes. So, Hobonichi. The culture of Hobonichis is so strong, I would say that it's one of the most fervent sort of planner cults. I was actually intimidated by Hobonichis because it seemed like people were so into it, and I was kind of worried because they're pretty expensive. The Hobonichis themselves are these books. I have the Avec, which means the year is split into two, of the Hobonichi Cousin. This is the first half of the year's book for me. It's a lot thicker than it was when I got it because I taped things into it. So these books themselves, for a full year planner, is in the 60. These are in like the $60 range, depending on the exchange rate, where you buy them from. And then there's these covers that go on top of it. And these covers, one of the things that Hobonichi really has down in the marketing department is that they work with designers. So this is a Mina Perron design. She's one of the designers they consistently work with. I also don't know how to pronounce her last name. I'm sorry. She does textile design, like really fabulous textile design. So her covers tend to be one of the more like popular covers. You also can get a cover that goes on top of the cover. So like, oh, things are falling down. So here's a different cover that I have. This is also a Hobonichi official cover. And this one was made with MT, which is one of the washi tape brands in Japan. And there is a cover that goes on top of the cover to protect the cover. So there's also pencil boards, special little bags to put your planners in. People go wild. And they are just, there is just absolutely so many things going on. Eric says Franklin Covey is a cult. Totally. Yeah, I would say it is. I would actually say it's lost a lot of relevance, though, as ease of foreign planners have become easier and easier to get, because a lot of them are great. The Journaling Broom says 2023 will be my 7th year using Hobonichi. That is impressive. Eric says, speaking of paper, the fax machine still lives in Japan. No joke. Used for official comms and business everywhere. To be fair, I worked in higher ed in the U.S. like 9 years ago. We were still using fax machines. They're also still heavily used in healthcare in the United States, unfortunately. So Eric says, a cover for a cover that's also very Japanese. Yes, if there's anything that the Japanese love, it's putting bags around other bags. So, but that's actually one of the things that makes them so, their love of paper, the Tomo River paper, which is what is used in the Hobonichi, works extremely well with fountain pens. I'll try to find a page where I was writing with fountain pens. This is not my overhead camera, so it won't be in focus, sorry. But they have extremely good paper for fountain pens. Also, things are falling out of my planner. We'll deal with this later. So there's a lot of reasons why Japan dominates essentially the cult planner space. So let's come back to, what does Hobonichi do marketing-wise? Well, during August, they actually put this entire website out. Where it is just every day starting in August, they have a different little bubble where you get to load and you get to see their long copy about how much they like planners. I mean, there's like a blog post every day. How to choose your techo. Yes, look, here's a planner. You also get a cover. Here, would you like to buy more things from our company? Did you know that we come out with exclusive planner covers every year that you need to get in order to spend more money? So the big news that they came out with this year is that the Hobonichi Cousin, which is one of the most used books, it's the book that I use. It has weekly, monthly, and daily pages in it. I use the Avec, which is split into 2 booklets. Yes, the constant mixing of Japanese terms with French terms is also common in Korea. It's sort of like the American belief that if you put something in French, it makes it fancy. I think that's sort of the same philosophy that they have. So anyway, avec, which means with in French, they split the year into 2 places. And that's just so that if you tape things in the way I do, it doesn't get too thick. The Tomo River paper is known for, it's really great with fountain pens. It's really thin. So despite not having a lot of bleed through and working well with fountain pens, it means that the book is not that heavy despite having, like I said, monthly, daily, and weekly pages. There are people that get it, the Hobonichi Techo, which is not the cousin. that doesn't have those weekly pages in it, that is a smaller book. But this is the first year that they've come out with an English edition of the Cousin, so that was the really big news. The thing that I don't like, and many other people don't like about the Hobonichi, is that it's got Japanese quotes on the bottom of every page. So if you like look and zoom in, one of the things that this now has with the Cousin is that the quotes will be in English on the bottom of every page. Most of the planner you can use just fine and easily without it being in English, and so it isn't really an issue because it has some English translations even in the Japanese version, and it has numbers, so it's not really a problem. But now they've got more things where they've got the English. I don't really particularly find a lot of the extra pages to be important, so yeah. Go Web says, after haiku, Hobonichi is another thing I learned about Japan this year. Well, I'm glad that you're learning about it. The planner I'm considering moving to is a Taiwanese planner, but it is the first Taiwanese planner to get the Japanese Design Award. It's the first non-Japanese planner to get a Japanese Design Award. So this is Hobonichi Original. This is the one I mentioned. It's got these daily pages, but it doesn't have the weekly pages that I use in the Cousin. I really need those, so I think that is important. The downside is that there is no English version of the Hobonichi Techo Cousin avec. So this is the two booklets that we're talking about. I think I want that kind of situation going on here. So this is their big reveal. There's also the Weeks, which is like a hardbound one where they have like special edition covers. They also revealed this thing called HON, which is apparently a book that you carry around every day. Look at this marketing language, y'all. A book you want by your side, 365 days a year. A book you carry with you every day. A book that is only one of its kind in the world. A book that I wrote and that I will probably be the only one to read. That's Hobonichi Techo Hon, or H-O-N. I don't know which they ask us to pronounce it as. Hon in Japanese means book. Great. So, even better. Absolutely makes no sense. What is it telling us? It's telling us it's a book that is a book. None of this marketing language has made it clear to me what this freaking book is. As far as I can tell, one, it says final product is going to differ from mock-up. They announced it like this really exciting thing. That's it. There's no information. It's A6. It's got lay flat binding. I think it's a notebook. It's a notebook that you'll want to carry around because it's made by Hobonichi and possibly a little overpriced. I don't know. It's it's like there's a lot of announcement about a thing that you've been waiting for that, as far as I can tell, none of us have been waiting for. And it's pronounced with a long O. Someone with linguistics experience, tell me what a long O. Hoon. Hoon? Is that right? Sorry, I'm bad at linguistics. I know someone in here has a linguistics degree, though, so maybe they can help me. I'm bad at the long O's and stuff. Christy says, Lamau, book, coming soon. I know! That's how I feel about it. It's just sort of like, what? Really? The Journaling Broom says, I'm not excited about it either. Seems redundant when considering their other planners / books. Yeah, my thought is that, like, all of their description of what the HON book is, a book you want by your side 365 days a year, a book that it's only kind in the world, a book that I wrote, and that just describes my daily Hobonichi planner. So yeah. It's just a normal Techo with a hard cover. Really? Why? I mean, because you know that people are going to go out and they're going to buy this, and they're going to buy a Hobonichi, and they're going to buy a cover, and then they're also going to buy like a Hobonichi Weeks that's like their work planner or something. And it's just like their marketing is just so effective at creating needs where needs don't exist. I'm not mad. Get that bag, man, Hobonichi. You are doing an excellent job. Rhea says their marketing is so good. Is it Rhea or Rhea? Their marketing is so good. I've been using a Hobonichi since 2014. I'm excited for the Cousin and Weeks in English. The paper brings me back every time. The paper is to die for. I love the paper. I also use, just making fun of people that have multiple planners, I also use the Jimbun Techo Days, which I really like, the Jimbun Techo Avec. And it has a paper, it's not the same as Tomo River. It's their own proprietary paper from Jimbun, which is another less popular outside the States planner from Japan. I originally got them when I was in Japan. I didn't even know that other English people were using them for a long time, but they are imported by a couple Japanese import companies like Jet Pins and things like that. Anyway, I love this guy, and I actually do really like this paper. I like it even better than the Tomo River paper. It has very similar qualities. It's great with fountain pens. I exclusively use fountain pens in this book. I just use it for to-do lists. I don't do any decoration or anything in this book. But I think it smears less than with the fountain pens. Like, it has a faster dry time, but it's very similar. Katie says, I think it will have the same contents as the Hobonichi original, but they're supposed to tell us more in October, release in December. Here's the thing. We know that everybody is going to go make purchases on the Hobonichi website on September 1st, when they come out with September 1st is when you can start buying things. People are going to get these huge boxes and huge orders, and then are they going to have a second thing shipped out for this? I'm just not impressed. I feel like if you're Hobonichi and you're this good at marketing, either you're selling me a snake oil or you're selling me the exact same thing with a different cover on it. Or you should have had your communication better about what it is, locked and loaded. Maggie in DeWood says, so it's just a Mosseri, lol. So that's actually the thing about the Mosseri, is that they don't have a hard cover. So if people don't know what a Mosseri is, Mosseri planners, which I used to use, which I really, really like, are a Malaysian planner. And Mosseries do have a hard cover, but you get to slide the book in. So it's very, very similar to a Hobonichi, except that where it's got the designer covers, it's at a lower price point, partially because it's manufactured in Malaysia as opposed to Japan. And which has a lower cost of living. They work with artists on these, but it does have like a hard book-like cover. I used to use a Mosseri planner, so I can show you. One of the cool things about Mosseri is that you can actually get a monogram on the front. This was their half and half, where you could put a notebook and then a half-year planner at the back. I really love this. This is what I was in immediately before the Hobonichi. So yeah, this is what the planner style looks like. I should have the overhead camera up, sorry, but I just got too many things on the screen right now. And then that's monthly view of it. But yeah, it's a hard planner, and it's at a lower price point. I'm sure this Hone is going to be, or Houn. Sorry, I don't know what long O's are. You'd think that being in radio as long as I have been, I would know this. Mosseri, I think, is really fantastic. It's at a much lower price point than a lot of the other kind of cult planners. I think the layout is good. I think it works really well for a lot of people. It's still got some modularity. You still get the fun of being able to pick a cool cover for yourself. The downside is there's very few US distributors, and while you can get international shipping from Mosseri, the price point is so low that the international shipping from Malaysia is such that it ends up being about the same price as the planner itself. So if you can't find a US distributor, yeah. The Journaling Broom says, yes, exactly. The Hone is coming out in December. Most people are buying stuff in September. Yeah, I just think that I don't think it was really the best launch. Sigao Na, is that how I say your name? Could they be marketing a journal? I mean, that's the thing that's very confusing. This is a daily planner, and most people use this because it's just a single page as the Hobonichi Techo and the Hobonichi original. A lot of people use it as a journal, so it's confusing to me how this is any different, but I guess maybe they're trying to say you can preserve it on a shelf better or something like that. Okay, let's talk about the cover reveals. Scrolling down here, because I Oh, the long O sounds like the O in own. So it's hone. Okay, hone. I will try to remember that. Thank you. So these are the cover reveals. I'm not impressed really with any of them. I really like strong graphic designer covers. I swear this Mina Perhonen one has already come out. I feel like I've seen it before. If I haven't seen it before, it looks really close to another one she's designed. So there wasn't anything jaw-dropping. The cool part is that they worked with MT washi tape again, so you can get tape to match your planner, which I just think is a nice touch. So Eric says, good job on the pronunciation of hone. Thank you. I appreciate your pronunciation guide because I do not know IPA, nor do I know Japanese pronunciation. So Ikara Yamaguchi here is one of the ones that I think is kind of cool. It's not really exactly to my taste, but I could see a lot of people liking it. Once again, it looks really similar to past Hobonichi covers, though. It's like, it seems like they're introducing a lot of things that like don't seem to be that novel. This is one of the more cool and kind of unique, doesn't look like sort of the other ones. So yes, this is like one of the ones that I think is kind of cool. Also, this is a book of 365 Days of Little Joy. I don't know if this is just, are they going to be selling this? Interesting. Maybe they're going to be selling a tiny book illustrated by this person. So this is one of the more cool ones. To me, this isn't compelling enough to spend the like $70 on a cover. The other thing to know about Hobonichi, if you're not like in the know, is that quite often the really popular covers will sell out almost immediately on the website if you're not on it like right when orders start opening, which is exactly why I don't think the hone is like going to be as popular, because I think a lot of people are not going to want to have to pay shipping from Japan if they're elsewhere in the world. And obviously I come at this with the US bias, but the Hobonichi community is global. It is not just North America and Japan. It's like all over the world. And because of that, I think that there is a lot of people, especially people in the EU, that have to pay import taxes on what they get from Japan. We're in a free trade zone with Japan up to a certain amount, so Americans don't usually have to pay import taxes on Japanese goods. Like it's pretty uncommon to have to go and pay customs for a lot of countries because America. But for folks in the EU that are getting huge shipments of stuff from Japan, they're going to have to pay, depending on their country, they're going to have to pay pretty large import taxes. So I think the likelihood that people are going to do that twice is pretty low. So yeah, this is the other thing. They worked with brands that I've never heard of. So this is like, I'm sure it's going to be exciting for people. Like this is it's from the Super Nintendo games, which I'm sure is very exciting for people that played Super Nintendo games in 1994. I did not. I don't play video games, so I don't feel particularly excited about this. I like robots, and I also like pixel art, but to me, this is just, it's not doing it for me. This is one based on a popular picture book. Also a thing I don't know anything about. I will say that Tiny Elephant is really cute, but I don't particularly want it on the front of my planner. There just seems to be a lot of stuff for me. Like, I don't know who the Aristo cats are. I guess it's a Disney thing. Like, I recognize that cat, but I don't know anything about it. And to me, this just looks, when I see things like, because we're so oversaturated in the United States with like Disney characters on lunchboxes and kind of lower market items, we're so oversaturated with the IP from like Disney characters. I am not that excited to see them on Hobonichis because I think the unique artist collaborations are the things I'm personally really excited about. Like, I'm not even excited when they do things like Sanrio collaborations, even with like sort of the more popular Japanese animes. I think it's very, very cool when they work with like textile artists and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm like, I kind of am struggling with it. Oh, Eric says my wife is Japanese. Thank you for filling us in on the Japanese information. Sounds like they need to hone their marketing approach. That's great. Ria says there are a lot of people who do multiple orders. They do a lot of later releases every year. I agree. I'm not impressed with the cover reveals so far. You never know. They might be holding out for some of the most exciting covers later on. I do think this is kind of cool. So one thing that Hobonichi is actually known for outside of their planners is that they actually make really nice bags with cool textiles. A lot of tiny bags. Once again, very Japanese. They love their bags. They have the best bags, in my opinion. With a culture so obsessed with putting things in bags. But they have some really exceptional bag makers and like artisan and heritage crafts in Japan around bag making and leather working. And I do love to see it when they do things like this, where they're working with like a bag factory on leather covers and things like that. I think that's like a cool thing. But I gotta say, none of this is compelling enough to me. Yeah, like I don't know what One Piece magazine is. I think it's a manga. Yes, it is a manga. So I'm sure this will be exciting for someone. It's less oversaturated than Disney, at least in the United States, in my exposure to it. So that's kind of cool, but none of these covers I'm super excited about. The Journaling Broom says, Yuzo Itami's illustration, I wasn't interested, but then I read about his life. Basically ended with the Yakuza murdering him and staging it as a suicide, and then admitted they did it in 2008. Whoa! Which one was that? This one? Oh, yeah. Yuzo, is that how you say Yuzo Itami? Okay. Interesting. That is fascinating, and I will say I appreciate the story behind it. I don't need a new cover, so unless something was really impressing me, I am not going to get it. Is anybody going to get... It sounds like there was a lot of chorus from the people that are like involved in the Hobonichi world that people are not really personally impressed by a lot of the covers this year. Is there anybody that did decide that they are definitely going to get one of these covers thus far? Are you kind of waiting it out? Is anybody going to get the Hone and order in December? I'm very curious what people are going to do. For me, if I do end up going with the Hobonichi next year and not the Take a Note again, which it's like, I've only been using this for like a year, but I'm already like pretty attached to the lifestyle. But there are some downsides in the way that I use it. If I switch to the Take a Note, I'm just going to get the Take a Note. It'll be fine. If I stick with the Hobonichi Techo for 2023, then I will probably just order it from a US distributor and just get the books, and I'll keep the 2 covers that I already have, because it's 2 covers is enough. I only use 1 book at a time. Tia says, I'm waiting for the full lineup, really hoping for a good colors cover. Yeah, I'm very excited about that. The Journaling Broom says, not yet. I'm hoping their 25th reveal will have more covers I might be interested in. Me too. I'm hoping. Is that the last one? How many more cover reveals we got? Yeah, the main dish. Okay. So we'll find out on 8/25. So I don't know if people know about the Take a Note one. Let me talk about why I am considering and interested in this. So I gotta say, this is a much smaller brand than Hobonichi. They've only been around for, I think, 5 or 6 years now. People had told me about them before. I kind of tossed it off because I was like, I really need a weekly overview that is vertical. The thing that I have consistently found in my life, we're really going for it. I feel like I'm about to make another camera, but for me, I imagine time in vertical formats. So it's really important for me to have that vertical time weekly view. I cannot have a daily only planner. It just doesn't work for my brain. And so and I also can't do horizontal weeks, which eliminates a lot of things for me. So I have, I kind of have struggled with, there's 2 problems. One, I have to have the cousin, which you to get the weekly view, and the Cousin is only available in A5. I do like that for the weekly view. I have enough range for the weekly view, but frankly, the pages are often too big for me because most of what I do on a daily basis, like I said, I'm not a very pretty daily pager. Most of what I do is like, if they're not notes, are just a list. I just make lists. The lists don't take up a full A5 page. I could use a smaller one. I don't need a full A5 page. So I started to reconsider the Take a Note Planner, which comes out of Taiwan and has a English version, which the Taiwanese version of their planner that is in Chinese and Taiwanese, that one has the Taiwanese holidays in it. The only difference between the English version is that it has slightly more English and it has it doesn't have Taiwanese holidays in it. The Take a Note Planner's layout is very fascinating, and I am interested in it possibly solving some of my problems. The downside for me is that you do not get to see the entire week vertical layout at a glance, because this is the way that it's laid out. It's a very interesting, very unique layout. This is not it. Hold on. So what it is it has a vertical timeline for each day. It's got the boxes. It's got the same Tomo River paper that's really good for fountain pens as the planners. But it essentially each day is a vertical column. So you've got enough space to write. For me, someone that almost exclusively writes lists, you've got enough space to write in. And then on you essentially get 4 pages to a week. And then one of the columns is this sort of weekly overview. I think this could end up working well because I can use this for hourly time slots if I need to, if I've got a lot of appointments. And then the rest of the time I could use these for lists, which I think about in a vertical fashion on the day. It's got the same paper. It's got the lay flat binding, which is really important to me. It's got like a pretty beautiful like side binding. And then it's got these Tyvek covers. These are in Taiwanese dollars, but these are actually quite affordable. If we put this in, I'm trying to see if I can put this in USD to kind of compare, but it is at a much lower price point. They do like to brag about the fact that they are like the only planner in Taiwan to be recognized by the Japanese Good Design Award. So they've got a nice minimalist design. They've got this overview of the year, which I really love in the Hobonichi. They still have the monthly pages. And I think it could end up working really well. They have different sizes, but likely what I'll do is A5 because it's kind of like the best transition from doing the Hobonichi. The Journaling Broom says, I was honestly hoping the Hobonichi would come out with a vertical plan, something like the first part of the Cousin, just smaller. Well, if you want pretty much everything that exists there, you could get here the Take a Note vertical planner that is slim. It's sort of like the Hobonichi Weeks, only vertical. So it's also undated. I think they may have a 2023 dated version in the record books, which is sort of their attempt to be sort of like the traveler's notebook, I think. But it essentially has a vertical layout that's very similar. So not to take you off Hobonichi, I know you've been in it for a long time. Tia asks, will you go for the A5 again? If yes, will you get the English Cousin or the Japanese Avec set? Interesting question. Never having had an English Hobonichi, I don't feel the need for it, although I'm a little curious. But I like the Avec too much. So I'll almost definitely stay in the Avec, even though there is not a English version of it, just because I think it is important to have it split into 2 books for me. Also, the other reason I like the 2 books, not just the weight when I start adding and the thickness that when I start adding at the end of the 6 months, I like to switch planners and I get that new fresh planner experience 6 months in if I get the Avec. So that's probably what I'll do. Anyway, the Take a Note planner is at a lower price point and their orders open in like 6 hours or something like that. So I'm strongly considering getting one for this year. or for next year. It will ship sometime, I think, in November, and I can sort of decide if I want to get a Hobonichi. I hope there's a much larger resale market for Hobonichis, so I feel the likelihood that I'll be able to find a Hobonichi if the Take a Note planner doesn't work is higher than being able to find a Take a Note planner if the Hobonichi doesn't work. The Journaling Broom says, I looked at the Slim Take a Note. It only has half the year, though. That threw me off. Oh, yeah. I mean, well, like I said, you do get that fresh planner smell. Let's see. I think there's a new arrival that has the full year in it. Okay. The record light undated. The weekly plan. Hold on. Let's see. Does it only have half a year? Yeah, okay. You are right. Not that I really needed to doubt you, but it is a very nice, beautiful, minimalist situation. But yeah, I could definitely see the downside. I like having the two planners. And because it's got sort of this modular traveler's notebook style thing, you could carry around like both in the transition months. And the Gantt chart is full year, but I could totally see that not working. All right, I need to drink some water, and then I say we eat the donut, do a donut review. Hopefully we get Aaron in here for his donut review, if he's listening. And donut time. I am hungry. Yes, I think Aaron's going to heat up his donut, and then I'm going to do my donut. And then we will do a little plan with me. And if you have more feelings, thoughts, worries about Hobonichis or Take a Note planners or other planners you're interested in doing, let's talk about that. All right, y'all. I'm going to do the overhead camera for the talking dough and eating donuts. All right, it is talking dough and eating donuts, so we will, in fact, eat a donut. The donut for today is this kind of spectacular vegan maple bacon donut. So the bacon is made with coconut flakes, and then the maple is like built into the top here. This is what it looks like. So we go overhead view. There we go. Oh, I don't know why it isn't showing just by itself, but let's see. There we go. All right, so this is the donut. Look how beautiful this donut is. And then Aaron's going to bring in the cheeseburger one. Make sure I didn't cut myself off. You all can still hear me, right? Oh, and then next up is Aaron's donut, which is a vegan cheeseburger donut with a pickle, sesame seeds, some sort of chorizo on the inside. That one is wild. All right, I'm gonna eat this donut. Do you want to join, Aaron? You're way off screen.
Way off screen. Hello.
Is Aaron's a savory donut? Yes, mine is almost a little bit too, though. It's like the faux bacon is very savory.
It is a real pickle.
It is, in fact, a real pickle.
Oh. The inside. Oh,
Here.
this is so weird.
Come sit on the camera.
This is so weird. This is, you have to show you the inside. It looks like a cheeseburger. Where do we go? Yeah.
Put it under the camera.
It's got a... Oh, the camera's upside down.
Don't...
Ugh. I don't know why it's not rotating. Um, there we go. It is actually got like a patty and then a vegan cheese, and it's like puff pastry around it. It's amazing. The pickle is a nice touch.
This one is surprisingly savory. It's like got, because it's essentially like smoked coconut.
I appreciate the pickle. Mm-hmm.
I don't like burgers, so I don't think I want to try that because it doesn't look tantalizing to me.
I approve, though.
What's your rating, Aaron?
I think I'm gonna give it a 4.
It is a 4.
Yep, because, and this may be not the donut's fault. It might be that it was fresher in the morning, but it feels like it could have been a little bit more soft, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what I want. It's almost perfect.
How long did you warm it up for?
Like 10 seconds in the microwave and then a little bit in the toaster. I didn't want to get it too hot.
My less complicated donut here, I'm gonna say also 4 out of 5. Almost done. It's really good. It's like nice and savory because of this, and then it just has the tiniest hint of maple. Like, it's a really good combo. I gotta say, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Cheryl thinks you shouldn't microwave it. I think you would normally put it in the toaster oven, but I think the downside of the toaster oven is I don't think it would be able to get the center patty as warm.
The center patty is very thick. It would take a long time, and there was a toothpick on top also. And then the pickle will be warm, which is weird.
Yes, it is a pickle on top. The New Bold One says the donutier at this shop eats cheese before sleeping and absolutely cheese dreams these donuts. Well, it's vegan cheese, so that's why they dream such weird ones. I ate that really fast, so. Eric says this reminds me of a Japanese curry bun. Yeah, I think that like Japanese cuisine, it does a lot better of having like savory pastries. Generally in Asia, I feel like they have more savory pastries and cuisines than America. We're just like so much sweetness.
The cheese didn't quite reach all the way over the whole patty.
Not a full. Yeah, maybe they're donut experts and not cheeseburger distribution experts. I can't even imagine the logistics of trying to fry a patty and a cheese wrapped in a puff pastry and keep it like equally distributed. Do y'all think I should have the staff come on sometime and explain things? We can take cameras down to the donut shop and do a behind the scenes with them. I gotta say, man, my poor little phone is like, this is so much work for me. Should we go back to planner conversation, y'all? That was the donut review, which I think is fairly exciting. All right. Apparently it's upside down. I don't really know how to unupside down it. No, because then the camera will be there. Just need to flip it on the screen. Yeah, toaster oven all the way. I just don't know if it would be equally distributed. New Bold One says, I would be 1,000% here for that. Oh my dollar field trip to Dough Donuts. The donut whole story. Yeah, I think that would be fun. We are going to have to do that at one point. New Bold One says it's roast coconut vegan bacon. Sounds heavenly. It's super easy to make. Making vegan bacon out of coconut flakes is so easy. You just get liquid smoke and then like you can put like a little bit of paprika, but really all you need is liquid smoke and coconut, and you can just put it in the oven and roast it for like a very short period of time, and it makes delicious. Maggie in DeWood says, somebody feed Phil has an adorable segment at Dough Donuts. Yes. Somebody feed Phil on Netflix came to my local donut shop and came out. Okay, we want to talk about planners. Totoro73 had a very good suggestion that I ignored while we talked about donuts, but was, have you seen the Wonderland 222 planners? Check it out. Another possibility like the Hobonichi. Yes, I have looked into those. There is one key reason why they won't work for me, but I could see them working for other people really well. So for me, I tend to have more packed weekends than weekdays, and so I absolutely cannot have less space for my weekdays. So I hate it. I hate it when my weekends are split into two, and they don't have as much space, and that is 100% why I can't do the Wonderland 222. But it is worth showing these off because if someone is on a hunt trying to find the right thing, these are the Wonderland 222 planners. They are essentially kind of knockoffs of knockoffs with their own unique twists in English that have a lot of similar layouts to a lot of the Japanese planners, but often in different sizes without some of the muck, like the quotes in Japanese at the bottom of the page. So this is the view of kind of one of the ones that I might like. Oh, and they also use the Tomo River paper, which is sort of what's important. It's got quarter layouts, which I do really like. This is what I can't handle. They split the Saturday, Sunday days. Oh, man. It went away. So that part is just like a non-negotiable to me. I can't handle that. They do it in all their layouts. They don't have any layouts where they don't split it. New Bold Ones. Also, I thought by staff you meant Aaron for a second there. Yeah, well, Aaron is the staff of this stream. He gets paid in very occasional savory donuts. So yeah, these are the Wonderland 222 planners. They have pretty much the same. They have a very similar layout to the weekday ones. So if you are in the category of someone who likes the weekly layout in the Cousin, once it in a different size, once it without like all of the daily pages, Wonderland 222 could work really well for you, as long as you are okay with your week having Saturday, Sundays split, which I am not okay with, so I won't do that. Totoro says, that's so frustrating when the weekends are smaller. I know. I don't understand why people do it because, quite frankly, I have more to-do lists on the weekend usually than I do on the weekdays. Part of the reason just that I don't have to write as much of my weekday tasks down in a notebook because they tend to be more routine stuff I'm doing on the computer for the case of my job. So, yeah, anyway, I find it annoying. All right, let's go over here and do a little plan with me. Let's do some nice chill plan with me over here. All right. How are we doing? There we go. I don't have a plan with me intro. So I've been in this Hobonichi since, this is the AVAC, so I've been in it since the beginning of July. And at the very beginning of July, I was actually in New Zealand. So I ended up using it for travel journaling because it was super thin because it was right at the beginning of the notebook. So it actually was appropriate to like bring. So I used it for more travel journaling. There's Hobbiton. But it does mean it got fairly thick pretty quickly. This isn't sort of my normal thing. I like to believe I'm the kind of person that does journaling the rest of the time. If you don't know what this is from, it's pretty great, but I'm not going to get too deep into it. This is like the closest to a decorative normal page things go for me. As you can see, I do not like the Japanese quotes on the bottom. I usually end up doing that. But I have been very busy, so I haven't been doing my daily pages as much. And I still kind of pretty much just live in my weekly views, leading me once again to believe I might not need a every single day A5 page. This is the pen that I use on my daily pages, which is the Kaweco Sport fountain pen. I have green ink in here currently, I believe. Yes, I have green ink in here currently. I do not use the fountain pens on my weekly view because I like the really strong, bold sort of black. So what we're going to do is we are going to, where I'm going to fill this in, and we'll just have like a nice chill one. I will say that this week is very special because Friday is the 20th anniversary of Breakfast on the Bridges. So we're going to do like a donut and coffee themed sort of layout. My favorite black pen is the Uni Pen pen. That's the like felt tip pen I like to use for these. Unfortunately, mine is like pretty much dead. So we're going to have to substitute with something else. I don't know where to get another one without ordering. Like, my local shops don't stock them. I have this. What do I have in here, y'all? Is this thrilling content for you? I have the mark on. I have to use this. This is not my favorite. Here's my options. Also, this Air New Zealand pen I kind of really liked. So, I think, even though it's a ballpoint, I think we'll use this guy. I don't like how thick this is. It's a shame Wonderland squeezes Saturday and Sunday. It's even worse if you live on Jupiter, where the weeks are 17 days long. Someone needs to make a Jupiter planner. That would be great. I wish my weeks were 17 days long. At this point, I'm using a Hobonichi's Weeks first year using it as a planner. I love the horizontal layout, but since I also like vertical, testing it by drawing a vertical layout in the week notes section. That's very interesting. Yeah, I tried to do the horizontal and I just could not last with it. The Journaling Broom says next year probably will buy the Hobonichi A6 week supplement that is a vertical layout. I think that would work with my weeks, hopefully. Yeah, we always can come up with more ways to buy things from Hobonichi to solve our problems, right? I did think about that. Yeah. Rhea says, check out Jet Pens. I think they sell the Uni Pen pens. Yeah, they do. That's where I got the current one. The problem is I don't want to buy a single pen. Like, that's all I need right now is this, that pen. So I don't really want to buy it from an online one. We have like quite a few stationery shops in Portland, but unfortunately we just do not have the one that I'm looking for. So, all right, y'all, gonna do some filling in. We have moved this. I'm hoping this will shake less. This camera will shake less than it was doing. So, skating class. No, I also don't really like this pen. Stupid gel pens. They're just not my thing. All right. I've been saving lots of stickers, lots of donut-themed stickers for this 20th anniversary of Breakfast on the Bridges, so we get to go as wild as we want with donut themes. It's gonna be fun, fun, fun in here. Look at this. I have a cat breakfast-themed washi tape to put at the bottom of the page. Oh yes, I have a washi tape dispenser that is shaped like a donut. I got it from Daiso when I was in New Zealand. I'm very pleased about it. And then I also got this washi tape dispenser that's a tiny cat. Look at this thing. It's so cute. Yeah, Daiso is really dangerous. We don't have a Daiso, like, easily accessible, so when I'm traveling, I always get lured into going into Daisos. Eric says, I love Daiso. I know, it's really dangerous. The Journaling Broom says, oh, those dispensers are so cute. I agree. Rhea says, oh, I'm in North Dakota, so I have to rely on online ordering for all my pen needs. Lol. Yeah, North Dakota probably has a slightly less of a Japanese population than Portland. So because we have a fair amount of Japanese folks, we actually have a fair amount of like Japanese grocery stores and like convenience stores that sell a lot of the import pens. Also, Target, I don't know if it does in every state, but Target, if you have one near where you live, has a lot of the like kind of like they have like mild liners and stuff now. So I was a little bit surprised at just how many of those things we have. All right, what do I have on my calendar this week? I'm pulling up my calendar over here. I know I have skating class, and I have the podcast on Friday. Oh, I hate this pen. It's not working for me. Oh, I thought I was teaching a workshop this week, but I'm actually teaching it on the 31st. Thank gosh. Okay. Then breakfast on the bridges. That's great. I have a whole like week to vamp now. 2 p.m. is my check-in. My boss. Then I have the live stream next weekend. And I have a 6 a.m. lesson. With Alexi, and that means I need to start biking up there at 4:45 a.m. Bike to Couve. And I'll be bike home. And breakfast on the bridges. My dad's picnic is today, which I still haven't put into this calendar, so I'm going to do that right now, even though it's like right after this. Maggie in DeWood says, podcast, how to access, please. This is actually a different podcast recording I'm doing this week, not the Oh My Dollar podcast, but stay tuned. Can't give more information than that. Breakfast on the bridges. Let's do a little coffee and donut next to that. Nope, that does not look good. Y'all, I miss my thick writing pens. Y'all, ugh. All right, live stream can get some donuts next to it since we're doing all the donut themed stuff. What else do we have in this sticker book? I think we can just go wild. I don't normally use this many stickers, but Breakfast on the Bridge's birthday gets all the stickers. Just gonna go wild with all of the donuts. Skating class, we can put like a little coffee. Everything is donut themed, y'all. It'd be nice to have a Stream Deck sticker to use for live stream planning. Yeah, I could print one of those out. I have the I have custom live stream stickers that I use. So Aaron made me little live stream stickers that I use when I go live, and I mark them. But I actually need more. So this is the real. I wish I had more of this washi tape. I need this coffee tape more than anything. I think Aaron's about to print me some stickers. He's walking in here very suspiciously after I just chided him. Or he has nothing to do with it, and I've just shamed him into doing it. I know, we need to print more. Yes, I have that one. This one shames me, Aaron. Oh, by the way, folks, this is so silly, but I am like $2.50 from being able to cash out my first YouTube paycheck despite being on YouTube for like 16 and a half years. Partially because I'm very bad at consistency other than live streams, which don't get that many viewers because YouTube isn't very good at live streams. All of this to say, I'm going to be so mad if I don't make $2.50 in ad revenue this month and I don't get a cash out at the $100, because $100 is your cash out threshold for YouTube. And I'm like, I'm going to be big mad, honestly, if I don't make $2.50 of ad revenue this month. On average, I make like $8 of ad revenue. And then I've gotten like, oh, I don't know, 3 super chats ever. So the super chats are also part of it, but they're just like waiting in there and I'm not able to cash them out. So that's my very exciting thing. I see people layer stickers sometimes and I'm not good at it, but I'm going to try. I want to layer it something behind the to-do. You're really seeing just how bad I am at aesthetic planning, y'all. I could just put a nom nom box. Why not? Eating my to-dos. Do I have stickers with sticker pictures on them for planner work? Yes, of course. I have so many stickers that are related to planning. Because who doesn't want that? So here we go. I have some Halloween themed stickers from Sweet Ava's paper that is a tiny bat version of me planning for in front of a live stream. I have cats with their planners also doing a live stream. This is also the cat trying to make stickers and throwing the printer out the window. I have a dressed as a cat lady doing planning. I have holding on to the stickers you're so excited about, bat version of myself. There are stickers of making stickers that have stickers. However, I don't have them because I don't tend to print stickers. But there's also taking pictures of the stickers you just got for the internet. Seriously, man, there's so many of these. Oh, Maggie into Woods! Thank you for the super chat. I'm considering making a video about my first $100 on YouTube that took me 16 and a half years to make. So thank you, Maggie into Woods. I will hopefully then get that paycheck in June or in mid next month. I don't know. So I'll keep you updated. Thank you. There are so many meta sticker pictures. I mean, that's the thing, right? Is like, why not have all of the meta ones? I also have a sticker that says, I love stickers. And I love washi. I used to be so blown away by all these people with all of these planner stickers. And I was like, how do people have this many planner stickers? It's so bananas. And then I slowly have found that I am one of those people that you just slowly accumulate them. I only buy stuff that I'm like going to use. I'm not super into the consumerism of it. But you know, that's why we have to do planner streams every so often so that I can justify them as business expenses, y'all. Like covers for covers, stickers for making stickers for stickers. The Plano world is very meta, clearly. We really are. We're extremely meta. All right. Sticker inception. Okay. Let's do it, y'all. Have to make the actual list now. Don't just get to continue to procrastinate. It looks very empty, but I actually have just so much stuff to do. Okay. Beyond B grant LOI. B on B. Promo. It's mostly B on B stuff. B on B shop. Order B on B stickers. I don't really need to write out stuff I'm doing for my contracting job because that's sort of managed through a different queue. So I don't need to worry too much about that. B&B grant, LOI, B&B stickers. Okay, I should start working. I got booked for this pay it forward gig, which is what I call the workshops I do with low income youth. I got booked for it like only 2 weeks out, so working on prez. I want to do some level of the presentation. Podcast notes. Bio on site. I know what these mean. Record podcast. Budget post. Oh yeah. This is a must do. Budget app post. We gotta do this before Budgetober and before this thing I have coming out. Then I need to do edits for chapter for the book I'm writing. My co-author, I have a deadline this week for that. Skating class, Beyond B. I mean, that's pretty good. Are there any rides that I absolutely want to go on this week? There is a ride for spreading mycelium tomorrow. Sounds fun. There's a rooftop ride. Oh, that's way too late for me. Sing-along ride, group karaoke. I will put this tentatively on here just so I know about it. Karaoke ride. There's secret roller disco on Thursday. We'll see if I'm awake for that. Since I get up at 4 on Thursdays. Secret roller disco. And I have B&B the next day. And B&B. Oh my god. There are like 27 rides next week. Yeah, the mycelium one is spreading mycelium. So it's actually like going around and putting mushrooms into trees. So I'm assuming they probably have got like a chainsaw or a saw with where the oil has the spores in it. The pet tape in the stationery world is very hard to resist buying. Also the rubber stamps. Recently discovered so many good designers and became obsessed. Yeah, I really like the washi tape samples. So I've been getting the samples of different ones, and I find that that is better for me than a lot of the large scale ones, because I don't really need quite as many as I seem to accumulate. Cheryl says, must be an arborist. They inoculate the land around trees. Yeah, I'm assuming that's what it is. Writers in Recovery, there's a Barbara Streisand Shabbat on Friday. Shabbat ride and picnic. The Love Witch ride, the Fish ride, All Hail the Queens. Is that about Queens or is... Oh, it's about MC Light, Queen Latifah, A Little Come, Shauna, Remy Might. Just for all the MCs. You Belong Here dance ride. Babies and kids and pets on bikes on bridges. Freeapalooza. Pick up free stuff to support local shelters by using the Freya app. Oh, interesting. I had to walk away because otherwise I was doomed. There's so many nice things. I know, that's like the really hard thing about it, where you need to kind of take a break from all of that sort of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to make, down here, I will make my this week sort of to-do list for, I can do 10 p.m. I'm not going to do anything after 10 p.m. I can do my this week to-do list for the purposes of my job. So that would be my contracting job. T3. Oh, I need to do some PPP training. And then this is a stairs thing. That's kind of plenty. Okay, so T3, and I'll put my other tickets on there tomorrow. Massport. I know those are my other ones. It's not very exciting to you guys. You don't know what it is, but that's okay. Podcast recording. I mean, it looks pretty boring right now, but the weather's been so all over the place that I am going to put the weather highs and lows for the week on here. We need to wrap up soon, though, so... But I just like to know that so that I can plan around, you know, if I'm going to bike up at 4 a.m. to go. So, gonna do it in Fahrenheit, despite my attempt to get better at Celsius. All right, 63.92. Why is it so... I'm so tired of this Portland where we don't get the nice... We get all these hot days now. We used to have so rare of days when it actually hit the 90s. And now it's been like half the week, every week, all summer. I'm so tired of it. Oh, Friday's 83. And Saturday, I'm sure it'll change by then, but... Alright, I think those are most of my to-dos. Do we need to add any cute stickers to anything? I don't know, I feel like I need at least like a couple more cute stickers. But I'm worried I'm gonna take away my writing space in the week if I put too many of these on. This is why I don't use like these box stickers usually. This is a to-do list, and I can use this later. I'm really not that artistically inclined. So, you know, we'll have to live with this. Beautiful. Should I just finish this out with boxes, y'all? Should I just do every single one to be donut boxes? No, I don't have room for them. Alright, I can put headers on them too this week if I put other things on top of them. I think that's enough. I do have other use for other donut things after the 20th anniversary of Breakfast on the Bridges. Alright, y'all. I think this is it. I'm not saying this is a beautiful planner, but it's functional. It'll get the job done. Doesn't look like that much, but it's really kind of a lot this week. So, yeah, we will have to live with all of that. Well, thank you all for joining me for this Hobonichi peruse, this planning, this trying to figure out what we're all doing here. Thank you all for chilling and having a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are with me. I will see you next week. I believe next week we are going to be talking about 1.5 years out from hard Brexit. What does the British economy look like? We'll talk a little bit about the heating crisis in Britain. And then the week after that, we're going to be talking about what's going on in China's economy. And then we'll bring it back to some budgeting topics after that. So if you have questions about things you want covered on the stream, feel free to drop in at the Oh My Dollar forums, forum.ohmydollar.com. Budgetober will be coming up in October. So if you're like me and like just anxiously awaiting all of the fun that is planners and fall and Halloween. The one holiday I really like because it involves dressing up and getting to eat candy. Then you should join the Oh My Dollar forums. If you want to get notified about live streams, you can join the textcrew.ohmydollar.com that works in North America and I believe the UK. And I won't spam you. It's just because YouTube notifications are unreliable. So I'll send you a text to let you know when we're going live. And Eric says, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, important as noted. Thank you. Thank you all for joining. Sorry we can't spend longer hearing about what you are looking forward to this week, but I hope you are looking forward to something this week and that you have a lovely, wonderful week ahead of you. Ignore the news if it isn't positive news. Stay hydrated. Pet a cat if you have one available. And I'll see you all same time, same place next week. Bye.